Time goes by so fast, I don't know, but you guys, I'm doing a part 2 on how to drop weight, get the business, look fantabulous. 48, 2 years I'm going to be 50, I'm feeling strong, I'm feeling fabulous. Let's go, because the last video I ran out of time. So what's the deal? Here's the deal. Okay, I was talking about how you drop weight on loose fat, body fat on keto. The first video was a lot of rambling about how to graduate yourself. I spoke a little bit too long about it, and I'm now doing the second half. You want to, for those who've got metabolic damage, what is metabolic damage? That is thyroid problems, Hashimoto's, hyperthyroidism, PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, for those who've got Crohn's, any type of bowel disease, anybody who's got GERD, acid reflux, anybody who's got fibromyalgia, fibroids, mood disorder, depression, autism, ADD, schizophrenia, cancer, multiple sclerosis, lupus, you name it. If you've got severe metabolic damage, if you're obese, if you have hypoglycemia, diabetes, insulin resistance, graduate yourself down slowly. Look at the first video, how I loosely explain how to do it. The way you drop weight is to get into ketosis. Well, that's a given. So the video title is to get you guys to pay attention to these very important details. Now, if you graduate yourself down slowly, then you can adjust to the brain not going through this serious withdrawal symptom, which can last a very long time. This frustrates people, makes them feel that keto is not for everyone, and then they start blogging and talking about how that's not for everyone. It is for everyone. It is our primal existence, and when we couldn't gather, which is a lot of the time, we had to hunt, we ate the fattiest bits of the animal, because in the fattiest bits of the animal you have more vitamins and minerals and fruits and vegetables combined times 100. Yes, that's why bone broth is what I always talk about. Yes, very important. Now, you graduate yourself down by using, and I will very quickly outline. Sweet potato, white rice, not brown rice, because of the toxins from the shell. I know, I don't even like white rice. No beans, and you can use things like yellow squash, zucchini, higher in carb, but still low enough for your brain to remain a glucose-dependent person, but you still have glucose within the system. And you do that for either 5 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, or 1 week, depending on how much damage you have. That means if you are hypoglycemic, you got to start 5 weeks out. If you're a person who eats a lot of fast food and a lot of carbohydrates, you want to start 5 weeks out as to not go through the keto flu. What is the keto flu? Headaches, rashes, muscle cramps, heart palpitations because of too low potassium. A lot of you guys don't eat enough potassium. Water volume's gone, so there's a lot of water and potassium in certain foods, and we're dropping water. So, heart palps, headaches, muscle cramps, poor sleep, bad breath. That's ketones leaving the breath. What else? Tired, very tired, moody, cranky. Menstrual cycle, over bleeding, menstrual cycle goes away. But normally, if there's anything weird with the menstrual cycle, it's not that it goes away. It's that women's cycles get kind of long if they're whacked out before. Yes. So graduating slowly will prevent some of these reactions. But I digress. Here we go. The number one reason why people do not lose weight on keto is because of the wrong application of it. They eat too high protein, not enough fat, not enough animal fat. They don't eat at the right timing. They still eat too late. They intermittent fast. They either don't work out or work out too much or work out in the evening. These are reasons why you are not adapting. Yes. Now, a lot of you guys have a dysbiosis in the gut. Leaky gut. Yes. A lot of you. A lot. People have got eczema, typically have leaky gut. If you've got things on your elbows and your knees and your scalp, then now we've got to go into hyperdrive of histamine intolerance. These are things that can block your keto adaptation. Not sleeping to the 5th level of sleep, not getting to REM state. These are things that can block your sleep. So to lose weight, obviously, is the opposite of what I'm saying. Go to bed in a circadian rhythm by 10. Yes. Go to bed by 10 if you can. We want to catch the first hour of light in the morning so your skin and your eyes can be affected by light, which is affected by hormones. Now, what you want to do is you want to eat a fatty breakfast, fatty proteins in the morning, because that's going to spike your metabolism. Your digestive process is connected to your hormones like cortisol. You have to be awake to eat fatty proteins, so heart rate, blood uncongeals, cortisol's getting going in the morning. Yes, because if you've got to hit that snooze button, you have low cortisol in the morning and too high of it at night, and that means you're not hitting REM state, which is why you don't lose weight. Yes, if your hair falls out, it's because you have prior thyroid issue. Yes, carbohydrates, blood, sugar, dysregulation can mess with your thyroid hormones. T3, yes. Unfortunately, you have to do a full thyroid panel, and even that can be subjective. A lot of you men, your testosterone is too low. Classically, because you have too many xenoestrogens in your diet, pesticides, you sleep like crap, you got a bad attitude, and the food you're eating is poor quality food. If you want to lose weight on keto, if you want leptin resistance or your leptin levels to get back in balance, then sleep is the main way you do it. If you have hit a hypoglycemic or low blood sugar in the afternoon, what you want to do to keto adapt to lose the weight is you want to use aids like coconut oil. Can't digest coconut oil? Then you're SOL. That means you got to do fats. If you can't do butter, do duck fat, do goose fat, do lard, or do beef tallow. Yes, you can add things like avocados and olives, but you don't want to be dependent on them. The main source of fat should come from an animal. If all else fails, with allergens when it comes to coconut oil, MCT oils. Otherwise, you can split in half your animal fat and your plant fat. You want to get it up to at least 200 grams of fat in the beginning. Now, is it difficult to lose weight on 200 grams of fat? Yes, if you have metabolic damage. For those who do not, see these muscles? These muscles are expensive. And they, boom, all of these muscles are going to make ketones. They're going to make ketones. So for me, I don't have insulin resistance. I have insulin sensitivity. That means that my GLUT4 receptor sites are going to pop out of my muscle cell and gobble up the glucose that is being created by gluconeogenesis. We all can make sugar without eating a drop of sugar, so do not be shocked if you test your blood sugars in the morning and they're high. So that's why I really try to encourage people to do super slow resistance training, where you're having resistance in both directions to wake up the mitochondria within the muscle cell to become more insulin sensitive and get those GLUT4 receptor sites to pop out and take up some of that glucose that would normally help you release insulin. And if you have insulin in the bloodstream, you are not going to drop weight. So really and truly, the best way to drop weight is to regulate your insulin. That's truly the answer, and that's your glucose. Ketones are like the last step, like check my ketones. Are they in opposition with my glucose? That's how you know you're in ketosis. And also do a journal of your energy, your appetite, and your hunger levels. But that's appetite, right? Energy levels is what I meant. And dreams. When you dream, you make ketones and you use them. The point is, when you sleep at night, you are supposed to access body fat because you're fasting. But the problem is, a lot of you guys eat dinner too late. You have low HCl levels in your stomach. A lot of you people who aren't eating enough red meat, boom. Alcohol, boom. Caffeine, it lowers your HCl levels. You think the heartburn is coming from high, acid's coming from low, and your body's doing this reverse fart trying to get the acid back up, and then you take all of these proton pumps to drop your acid levels even more, like Tums. It's a hot freaking mess. If your stomach acid, something has little stomach acid levels, HCl levels, are not in balance, you can't keto adapt because that firewall is not protecting you from pathogens from growing out of control. Things like candida can block your keto adaptation. Arthritis, eating late, and in the latter half of your day, your digestive process will slow down. So now you've got undigested food. That's why they say stop eating after 6. It's not to lose weight. It's to become fully digested. So when you go to bed, your body doesn't have to clock in and go to work to half-ass digest food, which is why it's a stress response, and your cortisol spikes, and you wake up several times in the middle of the night, and then you wake up not hungry because you have undigested food in your belly. I'm telling you, it's a lot of information to get in. I'm trying in these darn videos. Hi, guys. So, you understanding the concepts on how to lose weight? Don't eat too much protein. If you're worried, use a glucometer. If you see that your protein spikes, let's say as a woman, if you have 72 grams of protein and your glucose is spiking, dial back. Don't be afraid to go under 60. I got my protein at 53 grams of protein a day, and I have muscle. What did somebody write to me the other day? You look so much bigger than before. Ain't that a bitch? I look bigger, more shredded, more friggin' fine-tuned, and I'm eating the lowest protein I've ever eaten in my life besides the time I was poor. So, po. I wasn't even poor, I was po. So that just shows you. 53 grams of protein, and people say, you look so big. So you guys need to mess with protein numbers. The reason why you eat too much protein is because you're not eating enough fat, because you think that eating fat is going to make you fat. Well, guess what? You don't have fat receptor sites on your fat cells to uptake insulin. You don't. You have insulin receptor sites in the presence of carbohydrates. If you're stressed and your glucose is high, your insulin is high, and that's the reason why you get fat on keto. It's not the fat, it's the insulin, and it's the sugar. Don't believe me? Test your blood sugar. Because when your sugars drop, and your ketones rise, and you're eating high fat, boom! You get the business. That's what I'm talking about. You want to lose weight on keto? Move your ass. For me, if I have to do sofa squats, right, which I do because my knee is busted, I'm going to do my sofa squats. Because I'm going to build what I can. I've had 10 surgeries on my left knee, yet how am I able to be so lean, eating over 200 grams of fat, which puts me in the over 2,000 calories a day at almost 50? How am I able to have this muscularity and don't blame my genes, because my family don't look like Steph. Do not. No. I've worked incredibly hard on my epigenetics, so do not get it twisted. Okay, guys. I'm reaching that limit on the second half. How you lose weight is you keto adapt by going into ketosis a little slower. You have to adrenal heal. Some of you might need B complex. You might need a little vitamin D. You might be D deficient, which is why you're not losing weight. You are malabsorptive. Things are going right through you, and if the cells don't get building material, you can't heal. If you can't heal, you're high in cortisol. Cortisol is high. Adrenaline, norepinephrine, gluconeogenesis, and it's a wrap. Insulin goes up, you ain't gonna lose weight, you're gonna store. You're not storing because of the fat. Fat has a difficulty to permeate the cell wall. It must need a receptor site to go in quickly. Can a little bit of fat permeate the cell wall? Yes, but not a lot. I was eating 4,000 calories at one point of fat, 85%, and I just went up a few pounds. If that was carbohydrates, I would have gained 30 pounds. Yes, because of the insulin receptor sites everywhere, over every cell. You want to, once you get to a point where your numbers and you're adapted, then you can drop your fat. I would never go under 150 grams of fat. Nope. Some of you people trying to go down to 90, you're going to compromise your keto adaptation. That might last a couple days, but if you get it down to 90 or 70 grams of fat and try to just access body fat the whole time, eventually the body will go, oh, I know what you're doing. Oh, you're trying to lose weight. And you're trying to lose weight the wrong way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to become gluconeogenic again. My glucose is going to spike, my insulin's going to spike, and I'm going to become a carb burner again. That would just be starvation. Because if your carbs are low, and your fat is low, and your protein is low, you're effed. So you don't want to drop your fats too low. If you are moving your body, those muscle cells are hungry and they're expensive. And instead of your body dumping them, because the electric bill of the body is very high, your body will use them. The best way ultimately is to how you intermittent fast is you have breakfast, you wake up the metabolism, and you fast in the day after breakfast. So if you guys want to learn more how to drop weight on keto the right way, You can go to stephanieperson.com or Stephanie the Business Person on my Facebook fan page because there's a lot of info there.